Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Pause up, pet pals. Welcome to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Now, first up, we need to give pause and applause to a globe-trotting guy on a mission. His mission? To save animals from the sky. Woo! He is the host of the inspiring docuseries called Doug to the Rescue. And right now, he's in Ukraine. Wow. Please welcome to our show, Doug Thron. Hey, welcome, Doug.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure.
You know, I cannot believe we were able to conquer miles and time zones to get together, because this dude does travel all over the world, as you're going to soon hear. And I am so glad to have you on the show. I mean, Doug, you're like a mega talented aerial cinematographer. I got that all out in one big bite. What do you think?
Yeah, that was impressive. I don't know if I could even say it myself.
I'm not going to say it twice. He's also a take action environmentalist and a major animal activist. He is hosting the second season of Doug to the Rescue, and it airs on Curiosity Stream. So we're gonna dive in like a drone, Mr. Doug, because that's kind of the key to your identity. Can you tell people what you are doing with drones?
Yeah, so what I basically do, I used to primarily use drones as a cinematography tool, shooting for shows like Nat Geo and Discovery. And I got the idea to put an infrared camera on the drone and fly over disaster areas and look for animals. And what the infrared does is basically allows you to see the heat signature of an animal. So when the animal's on the ground, you can see the outline, the shape of the animal. And then I can flip to 180 times zoom lens and a spotlight that I have, and then shine it right on the animal and verify that it's a hurt animal or verify it's an animal that needs rescuing. And then I also have the GPS coordinates on the drone. So if it's far away, because the drone can fly up to about 1.5 miles away, then I just mark down the coordinates, and then we drive or run over there and go rescue the animal. So it's extremely effective, and it allows us to save a lot more animals than you would normally ever find. I mean, I can find countless animals all night long.
You know, everybody's sitting there having a little drone envy, if you don't mind, because you know, sometimes people use it for fun and all that. But I see that the drones are really saving lives. And we've seen them used with firefighters and paramedics and others to find where people are. What got you in this whole drone, let me help animal mindset?
Yeah, I had been doing environmental activism, protecting wild habitat for animals for decades. And I was acting as a cinematographer, filming a guy that was rescuing cats after a big fire. Okay. And when I saw what he was doing with an infrared scope, then I kind of got the idea to do it the next level, to put it on a drone. And, you know, there was a hurricane in the Bahamas, Hurricane Dorian.
Oh, I know that.
When that came about, yeah, it was super devastating. It was like 180 mile per hour hurricane.
It was in 2019.
Yeah. Lasted about 40 hours, destroyed hundreds and hundreds of homes. Thousands of people are still missing. And I was using a regular drone, flying over there looking for animals to help out. And then I thought back about the infrared, and I tested it out, and it worked so well that basically here I am. I went from the Bahamas, then went to Australia for 8 months rescuing koalas. And then I've just been pretty much on the road nonstop after hurricanes, fires, tornadoes, now a war zone. So yeah, the application is just unlimited on what sort of animals and where I can go with it.
Well, I know you mentioned before we came on the show that you have a houseboat, but you know, you don't really get to see postal carriers to wherever you are because you don't really have a physical home. So how do people find you, Doug? And you're kind of like Superman for animals. You know? You got an infrared and a drone. A drone and a Superman cape.
Yeah. Usually the best way to find me is just at my name, Douglas Thron, Tango Hotel, Romeo Oscar, November. And that's it on Instagram is the one that I tend to do.
Okay.
I'm not a big social media person to begin with, but I try to keep people abreast of what I'm doing. So Instagram is usually the one where I put stuff up.
Well, I'm becoming a fan, so just be aware, be warned, be
Yeah.
warned. And I actually went to the Bahamas in 19 and did some work at the Grand Bahamas where they had the shelter was celebrating its 50th year, and then it got hit like a month later by Dorian. So thank you for
wow.
being there to help them. The other thing we have
Yeah.
in common is the campfires in Paradise, California, back in 18. I was there working with some a feline practice, a veterinary practice, and the vet tech there completely lost his brand new home. But they saved their kitties, and they got their elderly neighbor, and they got down the road before everything went poof. So Mother Nature isn't.
Yeah.
Mother Nature's not very nice, is she?
No. I mean, it's it's kind of. I guess it's kind of how we treated Mother Nature. That now these storms have gotten much worse, and as as a cinematographer for all these different shows, my primary focus was protecting ancient forest habitat.
Okay.
And still to this day, if we really want to combat climate change, the most important thing we can do is protect the ancient forest that we have in the tropical rainforest, whether it be tropical rainforest in South America or whether, the Congo in Africa has an enormous tropical rainforest as well. And then temperate rainforest in US and Canada and Alaska. So,
well, I can't imagine what your passport must look like. Is it?
The funny thing is the weirdest thing nowadays is I find, like, I came into Ukraine, I didn't get a stamp on my passport. And then where was the past few places I've been, they haven't stamped it.
Really?
In Africa and some of the
Are
places
they
didn't stamp it as well. I don't know why. I'm like, it would be cool to have it, but I think Kenya stamped my passport, but Malawi didn't, or vice versa. Yeah, it was weird. I've gone to a handful of places nowadays. Australia, where I was in, and they don't stamp your passport either.
That's crazy. Hey, he's right now. We have taken a bit of time, and we thank his team to coordinate us getting together today. He is in Ukraine. Are you in Ukraine at the border? And what's your mission? We've got about a minute left before we take a break, but I want to tease up our folks what you're doing there.
Yeah, I'm in Ukraine looking for animals in the bombed out buildings. And so far we've gotten probably a little over a dozen cats and dogs using the infrared drone. And it's been extremely successful. It was a little challenging getting permission, but now that I've got the permission, I've been able to save quite a few animals. And I have.
Yeah, that's why I was teasing you. Come on, before the break, can you tell us who's sharing your hotel room?
I've got a mother cat that we rescued from 8 stories up in a bombed out building.
Oh my gosh.
And her kittens as well. So we've got 4 kittens and the mama cat. So I can certainly put that on, hold them in my lap in just a second here.
Yeah, go ahead and grab them because we're going to take a break. We're going to tease everybody to see what you're doing. Hey, he proves that real men love cats.
Hey, kitty.
Aw.
Come here.
And here he comes. Oh, he's going to get some kitties. Let's see what's going on.
Come here. Kitty. It's your first one.
Oh my gosh, you must be kidding me. You must be kidding me. Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a cute. Oh, that's cute. Hey guys, he is a champion for all animals. We're going to talk more with Doug Thron after we take this break. So sit and purr. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We're speaking with a very, very wonderful guy. His name is Doug Thron. He has camera, has drone, has compassion, must travel. Have you ever figured out how many different continents, countries you've been now, and over what time period?
Not even. Yeah, quite a few nowadays.
Who is this cutie pie?
So this one we call Katniss after the Hunger Games.
Okay. Yep. She's
And
adorable.
then this one we just call Mama Cat so far.
Mama Cat is
But
very grateful to you, Doug.
yeah, yeah, she was the first one we trapped because we had to set up live traps, and the mama one we caught first, and all the other little kittens. It took a series of days for us to trap them, but this little kitten actually stood by Mama's side and was standing on top of the trap, and then took off, and then I was able to hand catch her.
Oh my gosh. How old do you think she was when you found the litter?
It was about a week ago, and
Okay.
I would probably say, guessing they were probably around 4 weeks old,
Okay. All
something
right.
like that. So they're still nursing.
How can people help? Because we've had a couple veterinarians on our show, Dr. Marty Becker and Dr. Gary Weissman, who also volunteered at the Ukraine
Hmm.
border to help with animal medical care. What's something
Yeah,
you can pass on to our folks that are tuned in?
yeah. I mean, the best way right at the moment, as far as us personally, the Assert Drone Animal Rescue Group that I work with.
Okay.
Donating on their page or on my GoFundMe page is definitely helpful.
Let's go ahead and give us that information. Go ahead.
Yeah. If they just go to Douglas Thron at GoFundMe or
Okay.
Douglas Thron Drone Animal Rescue, you'll see it'll pop up.
All right.
So, and then if they're looking for a nonprofit donation, they can go to Assert, ASSERT, and they can find that online.
I
And
appreciate
they
that.
have yeah.
Well, I did see
Thank you.
you've got season 2 coming up, and it is
Mhm.
called Doug to the Rescue. And I love your channel Curiosity Stream. Can you say, I'm going to tee you up. It's called the Netflix for. Do you know what it is?
I'm sorry.
Do you know you guys have a nickname? It's Netflix for what? Do you remember?
Curious Minds or something like that. What is?
All right. It's called the Netflix for Nerds, the Hula
Yeah.
for history buffs. I love that. And the Disney Plus for the scientist and all of us. So I don't want us to be a spoiler, but I do want you to take us. I want you to take us to the Dominican Republic, and you're in a big landfill. Tell us what you found and what you did.
Yeah, basically flying the drone over this monstrous sized landfill, I was able to find dozens of dogs that had been dumped in the trash dumps, and we were able to rescue a lot of them. And one of the dogs that we rescued actually had 9 puppies the following morning. So she was pregnant and trapped under a bunch of crates and garbage. And thankfully we found her and were able to save her and the pups.
Yeah, you worked with a group led by a gal named Tracy, right? And
Yeah.
and so this dog had an eye injury. The dog looked pretty healthy. I mean, I think you were wondering if she had just been dumped. You mentioned that
Yeah.
people dump dogs there. That's sad.
Yeah, I think that she might have gotten dumped because she was pregnant and the owners didn't want to deal with the puppies, which is unfortunate, of course.
Wow. So from there we go, and it's no laughing matter, helping hyenas. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, Doug, I had no idea that you described hyenas bigger and buffer than a pit bull.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised by, was the enormous size of them. I mean, they're 5, 6, 8 times the size of a pit bull and much, much beefier and meatier looking than a pit bull.
And where were you? What brought you where tell everybody where you were.
Yeah, I was in Malawi, and basically what I was doing was filming. We were tracking the hyenas where they would go down these river corridors in between between a different city and then the little villages. And what the scientists were wanting is basically the data to basically be able to show that these hyenas need these river corridors in order to survive, because they would basically go along the river corridor and go into the villages and hunt for food, and then they would go back through the river corridor and go back into the city, and that's where they would have their baby hyenas, was in the city in this little sanctuary area, but they counted on having the river corridor in order to survive.
So you had to be careful with your drone because any animal has better hearing than we do. And I noticed that you worked with a veterinarian and some conservation folks. So they hit the dart in a hyena to be able to put a tracking collar on. But I remember during the episode, you had to watch your elevation, right?
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yeah. In that instance, they tranquilized the hyena, and then basically I had to have the drone ready to go and then fire it up and then chase after the hyena and stay high enough to not scare it, but also still keep an eye on it so that then we could find the hyena afterwards and where it laid down. And then, so they could put the collar on it. And then it was also interesting because they had never gotten to see, the scientist, how the hyenas interact once they go back to the pack. It was nice to see that once the hyena had the collar, in a matter of minutes, it integrated back into the pack, and there was no issue with the others rejecting it or fighting it or anything of the sort.
Maybe he was saying he was making a fashion statement. Look at me. I got a collar on.
Look at my pretty collar. Yeah.
Don't be jealous.
Yeah. And thankfully, they didn't seem to mind. I mean, I'm able to track the hyenas for miles, and the hyenas are unaware that the drone is even there because I can track them from really high up in the sky.
Well, we've got about a minute left. What's a message you want to give everybody? Because this show goes coast to coast and beyond, and we really want people to know your show is Doug to the Rescue. It is on Curiosity Stream, but you're doing the work. You're not just talking about it. You're in the trenches. What's your message to all of us tuned in?
The main message would be to get involved in helping save animals, whether it be volunteering at a shelter or donating to shelters. There's always help that animals need. Also, obviously, writing letters and getting involved with protecting ancient forests throughout the world is a key component to combating climate change. So if people can do that, that will definitely help as well.
Well, you take care of those kitties in your hotel room in the Ukraine. And I do want to give you pause and applause for all that you're doing. And I think the Doug to the Rescue series is important. It's amazing how it's all filmed. Really excellent job. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Whatever that means. But you
thank you
keep
for having
doing
me
the
on.
good work.
Sure.
All right.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to find out how food can make your cat smarter with our holistic veterinarian friend, Dr. Jane Hove. But we're going to take a commercial break. So sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Four-Legged Life.
Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content.
Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.